Welcome, guys. We missed last week because of a shitty little fucking recording thing here, but we're back. Matt Gardner with always the I was gonna call you the Asian sensation, but you're not Asian, so
Yeah, that's true. I'm Irish. There's a big difference there. We're going definitely on the opposite side of the world.
but with well, as always with Chip Willett. Anything we missed last week, like I said. Anything you want to talk about from last week or this week?
Uh, Kind of forgot what we talked about last week. So now let's just go on to Well, I guess we got to start off with what I just read about 10 minutes ago, talking about the fucking Jameis Winston hearing being moved till after the regular season, which is goddamn motherfucking bullshit. Um, just tired of it. Can we just kick him out of college football already? I mean, he's going to be going to the NFL. Boy, if what comes to light, everything that I've been reading, including yesterday, a text message that was between him and some guy talking about shaving points off the Notre Dame game. I mean, it came from a website. It may not be true, but if so, oh my God, is he in more trouble than he ever could have imagined? Um, I'm just glad we're almost done talking about him because A, college football's almost over, and B, his career's almost over.
Um, this investigation is about the rape case, right? I
I
do.
think it's gonna
I do.
they're
I
gonna be
think
going
that.
against
I think they're.
everything.
Yeah, I think they will. But it's mainly about that rape case that happened 2 years ago. So Florida State took 2 years to investigate this. So instead of investigating it right away, they're like, "We'll just wait for the end of the regular season before we start, actually doing something about it," which is bullshit. He's gonna get found no matter what. He's gonna get found guilty of one of these things, and they're gonna take their national championship away from last year. Listen, if they took Joe Paterno's wins away when he did nothing, Joe Paterno did nothing. If they take his wins away, they have to do it to Florida State. Have to.
No, I agree. I agree. I fully agree
So,
with that.
I think that you'll take their wins away. Jameis Winston's Heisman's gonna go. He, I mean, there's no point. There's no point anymore of them trying to protect this guy, and he's gonna go to the NFL and he'll get drafted fourth or fifth round. Some retarded team like the Jets probably will take him first round, but
Yeah,
but
they're in some turmoil right now.
but I just I agree with you. I think it should be done and over with. You get Charlie Ward to Jameis Winston. How is that in 20 years? How is that? That's just bad.
And with what you might call it? Let's see, who was it? Christian Ponder was there. That was kind of a little bright thing. And
Uh,
then what about the guy? I mean, he wasn't a quarterback, but what about the guy that got the Rhodes Scholarship? I mean, the guy was a freaking genius,
I
and he,
had no
he
clue.
decided to give up college football and become a doctor.
Was that Chris
I feel
Winky?
like no, it was a safety. He was actually
Oh, I don't know, because
only
I think Winky got like a degree in like that too, and he's like a doctor now too, I think. But yeah, Winky won the Heisman too, and he got thromped in the national championship game. But
yeah.
um, anyway, ow. Anyway, it's
Oh yeah, how's the arm going?
uh saw the doctor today. He literally poked me 3 times in 3 different parts of my shoulder, and he's like, "It's a muscle contusion." That's all he did. Didn't want me to rotate it or nothing. He just poked it 3 times. He's like, "It's a muscle contusion." I'm like, "That's awesome if it is, but you might want to do a little more doctoring over here." Well, I fell on my shoulder. It's like every time I do a podcast, I hurt myself. I fell on my shoulder
Yeah.
Friday. Finally saw the orthopedic surgeon. Everyone's telling me it's a torn rotator cuff. He's like, it's a muscle contusion, which I'd love to be a muscle contusion. He's like, come back in 2 weeks. If if you're still in pain in 2 weeks, we'll get you into physical therapy. And I literally said to him like, if I'm still in pain in 2 weeks, that is not a muscle contusion. So I don't know. That's for another thing. fuck Jameis Winston. That's pretty much what this podcast is really all about.
Yeah. Hashtag fuck Jameis Winston. I'm down with that.
Yeah, pretty much. What else did you want to talk about?
Well, uh, well, definitely. What's your take on the manager of the year in the AL and NL for baseball?
In the AL, it was a toss-up between Buck Showalter and Ned Yost. So it was a coin flip in the AL. I'm glad Showalter won it. I would have been more. I wouldn't have been surprised if Ned Yost won it. In the NL, I have a big problem. It should not have been Matt Williams. It should have been Bruce Bochy. You win the World Series, you should win Manager of the Year. I mean, it's in either league. I mean, you just that's my take. I know that Matt Williams led the Nationals to a the best record in the National League, but it should have been Bruce Bochy.
I don't know. I think it was kind of cool to. I mean, I was actually shocked about the Matt Williams one, but it's definitely good to see Buck in it. He's done. I mean, I've been a Orioles fan for years, so he's done turning this team around big time. And definitely made us contenders. So definitely good on that. Not much going on in baseball. I just saw Victor Martinez agreed to a 4-year deal. I did read that Nelson Cruz, who was such a vital player for the Orioles last year, and it wasn't proved that he used steroids, so I'm still saying he's a vital player for the Orioles last year. Turned down their initial offer of 3 years. He's seeking 5 years, so he's actually going to hit the free agency market. He said.
I read that.
What do you think is with the? I mean, sometimes players will give a hometown discount. I know J.J. Hardy did to stay in Baltimore. But what is your take on the 3 versus 5 years? I mean, what's the big difference to you?
Money. It all depends on the money you get per year. Like I don't know what he was asking for the 3-year deal, so I don't know, because some of those contracts are backloaded. Like you can have like say Nelson Cruz does sign the 5-year deal, he'll maybe make 5 million the first year, 5 million the second, like 10 the third, and the last 2 years he'll make 20 million. For each season.
Yeah.
It's pretty much it's incentive for them to stay. You're making 5 million, 5 million, but if I keep staying with this team, I'll be getting my 10, I'll be getting my 20 million. I think that's why people want. Plus, it all depends on, and maybe he doesn't know how many good years he has left, so signing that 5-year deal would give him more financial stability too, because most baseball contracts are guaranteed. So, I mean that.
Yeah, that is true.
That's it. I think Nelson Cruz will stay with Baltimore. I think Baltimore will give him that contract. There's a bunch of free agents out there. The Red Sox are talking to the Panda, Pablo Sandoval. They're talking to him.
Shit, I don't want. Yeah,
They're talking to him. I think he'll stay with the Giants. That's my take. If we sign him, great. There's also 2 pitchers we're going for, which is obviously John Lester and James Shields. I would rather have Lester.
We all just got rid of him, right?
We traded him, but the this whole thing, it breeds collusion. It really does. Send him away to the A's. You get Cespedes and a couple prospects, and then in the off season, we'll resign you. But and the Red Sox even admitted that's probably their goal was to re-sign Lester, and Lester loves Boston, and Boston loves Lester. I don't think Lester's a better pitcher than James Shields, in my opinion. I'm not biased. I'm saying that as a Red Sox fan. I'm also saying that because I believe it. I think he's a better pitcher. So.
Oh, I do too. I mean, I've never been really impressed by James Shields.
And you got Max Scherzer, who was also a free agent this year. There's a lot of people saying that he's going to the Dodgers, which.
Ooh, with Clayton Kershaw? Oh my God.
With Kershaw and Scherzer and Greinke. Ugh, that would be a wicked. But again, Kershaw can't pitch in the postseason if his life depended on it, so I'm not too worried about it. You know, I'm an AL guy. We're both AL guys, but
Yeah, I mean, it looks good on paper, but then when it comes to playing is when it really it it basically tells a lie because I know quite a few of my teams have looked really good on paper in the past, and they ain't do shit. Period. So, anything else you want to talk about baseball? I know baseball is we're in all season. We're about to hit the winter meetings soon, so that's going to be interesting to see how that goes.
yep.
Was it December?
I think so. Yeah. They're also saying that Lester could sign with the Cubs too. So go back with Theo Epstein, and they do need starting pitching. I think either Shields or Lester, whoever doesn't sign with Boston, they're going to the Cubs. And this is what I love. NL pitchers going to the AL normally don't do great, but AL pitchers going to the NL normally dominate.
And plus, you had to look. Who was James Shields' manager originally? John Madden. Or Joe Madden. Sorry.
John Madden. Yeah, we both said John Madden. Yeah, Joe Madden. So I mean, and there's accusations of tampering with Joe Madden too from the Cubs. I don't really like the tampering thing. You know, if a guy reaches out to you and says, "I don't want to be here anymore. Make me an offer." Wouldn't you, especially with a guy like Joe Madden, wouldn't you make him an offer? I mean, it's I don't know. That's just,
yeah, no, I definitely agree with you on that scenario.
But that's just me. I could talk baseball for hours just about past stuff. I'm actually watching old World Series games on YouTube, so that's what I've been doing with my shoulder, pretty much on the heating pad. So. Yeah. Anyway,
that's good. That's
no basketball news because basketball sucks. Actually,
I did come across something, and it's hilarious. Kobe last night set the NBA mark for most field goals missed. I just think it's kind of funny. He always talks about such a clutch player, and then all of a sudden now he's got the mark for most missed field goals.
I had a discussion with a guy on ESPN's forums. And they're saying is Kobe's still an elite player, and I commented on it. I said no, he's not. I think he should retire. I don't think the Lakers should trade him. I think he should retire. And this guy's like, oh, you know nothing about basketball. He's one of the top 5 greatest players of all time. I'm like, no, he's not.
What?
No, he's not. But we're not talking about what he did in the past. We're talking about right now, and right now, he's terrible. So. Yeah.
I don't even know if I would consider him one of the top.
There have been more Celtics in the history of the Boston Celtics that are better than Kobe Bryant. I'm not saying that because I'm a Celtics fan. Larry Bird's better. Bill Russell sure as I know there's different positions. Bill Russell sure as hell better. John Havlicek's better. He actually passed the fucking ball. And he stole one too. And I guess he stole a ball too. But
yeah, I just for someone to say that in the top 5, you got to be kidding me. I mean, you're not even touching on.
And this, I know we're trending off basketball here, but there's another guy who was talking about Peyton Manning. Is Peyton Manning like the greatest quarterback ever? And I said, yeah. And the guy's like, oh, he's 1-2 in Super Bowl. He's only won 1 Super Bowl. It's all about rings. Montana was 3-0 in Super Bowls or 4-0 or blah blah blah. I'm like, so Montana's 4 times better than Peyton? I'm like, let's see here. Rob Johnson, who's a backup in Tampa, when they won the Super Bowl, technically got a Super Bowl ring. So you're saying that Rob Johnson is on par with Peyton Manning? They go, well, no. I'm like, then I just lawyered you. You can't say that a quarterback who's only won 1 Super Bowl is the same amount of talent as Peyton Manning, who's only won 1 Super Bowl. Manning's easily better than Flacco, easily better than Eli. I say he's better than Troy Aikman, who's won 3 Super Bowls. I think he's the greatest quarterback of all time. And everyone's like, regular season doesn't count. I'm like, kind of does, because if he loses those games and still puts up those numbers, no one's going to talk about him. You kind of got to get your team into the postseason in order to win the Super Bowl. So regular season does count.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you there. Well, we'll go to the NFL shortly, but how are the Bruins doing? I haven't been really keeping track on them
Uh,
too much.
10-6. They play tonight in Toronto. I feel really good about it. This was actually I watched the Bruins game against the Devils a couple nights ago, and it was the first game. Excuse me, the first game I watched in about a couple weeks with the Bruins, and they weren't really impressing me in those games I was watching. And in this game, they gave up like a goal within like a minute 20, just like boom. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be one of those nights. And all of a sudden, they turned it on. Rask became a beast. Bergeron was playing like Bergeron. I mean, freaking Lucic was Milan Lucic was hitting people. I know Travis doesn't like Lucic because he's a goon. Even though all hockey players are goons.
No,
But
that's definitely good. We'll go into that in a little while.
but
But
I
what
just
about with the Seth Allen goal? I mean, no, Seth. What's the last name?
Griffin
Not Allen. Is it
Griffith.
Griffin?
Wow, he stole the puck on the defensive zone, split the defenders, and the defender it was interference. The defenders turned him at the goal. That should have been a penalty shot. They should have. He went to go get the shoot, and one of the Devils defenders, like I think it was Yager, turned him. And I'm like, that's a penalty shot, and he just somehow wasn't. He was facing his own goal and scored a goal. The goal was behind him, and he somehow got it past Corey Schneider. I was like, when I watched
Yeah,
it, I'm like, holy shit.
yeah. I wouldn't say it would have been a penalty shot. It would have been a penalty. He didn't have enough separation for it to be a penalty shot. He was stuck
Okay.
in between two Devils, so it would definitely have been a hooking penalty. But no, or an interference could have been going either way. But no, I mean when you post that and I watched it, I was just like, eyes in the back of his head. I mean, how did he know? I mean, you know he didn't plan that. You know he was just trying. He was
Oh,
just
yeah.
trying to get the puck. I mean, because he had no one with him. But no, it's definitely a hell of a goal. Possibly a nomination for goal of the year. Definitely luckiest goal of the year. But what about Terashenko's two goals that he's been bringing out lately for St. Louis? The dude's been like TJ Oshie in the freaking shootout in the Olympics. I mean, he's like, whenever this guy gets a break, you got to watch it because he's gonna throw everything at you but the kitchen sink. I mean, he's done fake goalies out of their pads 2 games in 2 weeks. I mean, like the goalies' pads were back in the locker room by the time he was done with them.
They played the
Have you seen
Sabres.
it, either of
Yeah,
Terashenko?
I saw the ones against the Sabres. I was just like, he played the Sabres. That's nothing. but look, but still, a goal's a goal. So it's just yeah.
And
No,
yesterday there was a go ahead.
no. Go ahead.
And yesterday there was a trade where Dallas traded Sergei Gonchar for Moen to the Canadians. I wish Ryan was here because I'd love to hear his take on that trade. I think it's really good. I mean, of course, Gonchar isn't as good as he was with the Capitals, isn't as good as he was with the Senators. But you know what? He's still a solid defenseman. And putting him back there with PK Subban on the blue line in Montreal, that's going to be a great move in the long run for the Canadians. I don't see the upside in Moen going to the Stars, but the Stars ain't doing too well as it is. So I guess they just wanted to get rid of contract before he got unhappy there. What's your take on it?
The Stars should trade Tyler Sagan back to Boston. That's my take on it. Oh, never should have traded him away. Honestly,
Seriously.
they should have traded Krejci. It was either going to be him or Krejci, and I thought Sagan, who was a rookie in 2011, I thought he would have been a better player than Krejci. And I like Krejci, but I think that they should have kept Sagan. But who knows that if he would have, been able to get the goals that he's been scored in Dallas because he's on the front line in Dallas. I think he was on the third or fourth line in Boston. I mean but that's the depth that Boston had though in that year. A fourth line player becomes a first liner in Dallas and is just on fire. But anyway,
That was like Dallas Aiken. Oh no, Cody Eakins from the Capitals. He was the same way. He was a fourth liner. Sometimes he was benched. He goes to Dallas and he's playing on wing with Sagan, and his assists rack up. So,
But anyway, the trade for with the Canadians, I think it's good. It helps. Like, Travis even said this to me. It's like it helps your penalty kill, and the Canadians are really good on the penalty kill. So I mean,
Yes.
it helps them greatly. And this team got better, and I had them winning the cup, and they just got a hell of a lot better. So it's gonna suck to be a Bruins fan this year against Canadians. They already lost one. I think they're gonna lose the other three, but it's gonna suck. But Boston is now actually at the play. All these ifs at the playoffs ending today. Boston will be a 6 seed, so we're in it. As of right now, I know there's still like 60 games left of the season, but
yeah, Caps. They're starting slowly to find their groove. I mean, this rookie that we have, Burakovsky, is he had a couple cold games, but for the most part, he's ridiculous. I'm really starting to get, a little upset with the fact that there was so much hype about Yevgeny Kuznetsov coming over from Russia. And I know it's going to take a while for him to adapt to the North American game, but the guy has so much talent. He can be so good in North America. It's a very slow process. It could be the fact that he should have been over here 2 years ago playing in the NHL, and he spurred the NHL for KHL for a couple more years, and that probably hurt him. But I'm just waiting for him to break out, because to have those two young guys on the same line is going to be magical to watch when it kicks in. But Caps are currently on a 3-game win streak. They beat the Columbus Blue Jackets last night 4-2, and then on Saturday they snapped the 4-game winning streak by the Carolina Hurricanes, where they came back and won that in overtime. And then the night before, which is a huge setup for the Winter Classic, they took out the Blackhawks in Chicago on Friday night. They took the lead 3-2. They scored 2 goals within 40 seconds in the second period, and then Braden Holtby became a stone wall the rest of the game. So we're definitely starting to hit a little stride here. I mean, I'm not going to go all crazy and say we're the best team in hockey, because we're not. We still have quite a few problems, but they're finally starting to buy into the Barry Trotz system, and I think it's going to be really good. And I was reading today that Caps may have the second ranked power play in the league, but there was a chart today that said they have the second highest percentage in goals versus shots since the 2005 season, where the Sharks had, I think, about 2% better. But so yeah, it was just something random that popped up on ESPN today. But nope, Caps, I know they're off tonight. I think they play tomorrow and on Saturday, so just looking for them to keep that up. While we're on hockey,
yeah, I was going to say that Bruins signed Claude Julien to a 5-year extension.
Oh, good. That's great for you guys.
It definitely is. He's probably
he's
probably one of the best coaches in Bruins history. Don Cherry was really good. Oh yeah. Him and Joe Quenneville are just, and Daryl Sutter, probably the 3 best coaches in the league right now.
And then you got the guy for Detroit. What's his name?
Babcock.
Yeah, I mean he's really good too. But all right, so there's a top prospect coming up in he's in juniors right now, getting ready to he'll be draft eligible as of next year, and he was going to be the next Sidney Crosby, the next Ovechkin, the next Lemieux possibly, Connor McDavid. Flying up a top prospect in the juniors, got in a fight last night and broke his hand. He got in a fight, which he shouldn't be doing, and he punched a glass and then broke a bone in his hand, and he's currently out indefinitely. So that leads me to the question I posted on Facebook earlier and had a couple people answer. Is it time to take fighting out of hockey? Or the options were, it was posed by EA Sports. Let people fight, leave it to the goons, or leave it to the enforcers. Goons, as Ryan calls them. and then take it out of hockey totally. I say leave it to the enforcers. They're the ones that know how to do it. They're the ones that won't hurt themselves doing it, and they're the ones that instigate most of them because the hard hits.
Now,
What's your take on it?
now, did he punch the glass trying to hit another player, or did he just punch the glass out of frustration?
No, he punched. He was in the middle of a fight, and he went to hit the player. The player moved, and he punched the glass.
Not. I say keep it in. I'm like it's not. The guy ducked. He didn't want to get hit. That's what I do. I mean, it's not really. It's his own fault for throwing a punch. Leave it in. It's not.
I fully agree. I fully agree. I mean,
I
I miss
don't.
the days when we had Bob Probert and all those. Oh, what Bob Probert, Ty Domi, all the good before you started watching hockey. Really good scrappers on ice.
Cam Neely. But Jesus,
He wasn't much of a fighter, but he was definitely scrappy. He was a scrappy little dude.
Okay, but keep it in. It who I don't know. I just say keep it in. It's been in hockey forever. You know, it's like getting rid of the forward pass in football. You know, or the run game in football because it's been there forever. Well,
You know what happens if they take out hockey? If they take out fighting out of hockey, it's going to turn into the KHL, which is one of the most boring leagues to watch ever. It's exactly what's going to happen because there's really no penalties.
Well, it's not only that. Then they'll reduce. What they'll turn into the NFL, and you won't be able to hit a player. You won't be able to check a player to the boards. There'll be a penalty, and then teams like the Bruins will kind of get fucked because their game plan is to hit you again until you wear down in the third period, and that's when we attack. So I mean that. Keep it in. Just keep it in. Don't change it. It's already good the way it is. Don't change it. Yeah, people get hurt. It's called they're fighting. They're gonna get hurt.
Two bouts that I'm really looking for when the Caps and Bruins meet for the first time this season. That's going to be Lucic going against Wilson because you know that's going to happen again. Tom Wilson, and then we have it happened in the preseason game we went to against Boston, where Adam McQuaid went against the new guy we have, Liam O'Brien, and that was a hell of a Donnybrook. So I mean, I love violence in hockey. It's a great thing. It definitely attracts people. I mean, I know a lot of people that like fighting. A lot of people watch NASCAR for the wrecks. Well, a lot of people watch. I mean, I don't, but a lot of people I know watch hockey for the hitting and the fights. So that's definitely going to be fun when it comes up.
How bad of a person are you to be like, I'm watching NASCAR to see someone die?
No, I didn't say die.
Yeah, I know, but I'm watching NASCAR to see this motherfucker get into an accident. How bad of a human being are you? I watch NASCAR because it crashes. No, you watch NASCAR so you can fucking be like, I drink a 6-pack of beer and get drunk and watch people take left turns all day. God, NASCAR's awful. Don't get me started on NASCAR. It's not.
I was like, as you can tell, friend, Matt is not a fan of NASCAR.
It's not a sport. I don't.
No,
care.
but there's fighting in it evidently now. I mean, the past couple of races, Jeff Gordon and Kozlowski went at it, and Kenseth and Kozlowski went at it. Kozlowski's getting his ass kicked. It's great.
You hit my car. Oh no,
Basically,
I'm gonna beat you up. You're going 190 miles an hour. You're bound to hit someone's car. Jesus Christ. Only fucking retards drive a NASCAR and fucking watch it. And if you watch NASCAR, sorry, Trip, you're a retard. I don't. There's no point to it. There's literally no point. It's a competitive sport. Okay. All sports are competitive. That's what makes them a sport. NASCAR's not a sport. They take left turns. They just do a circle, a big circle. And people bitch at me for watching golf. I'm like, it takes more skill to hit a golf ball than it does to take a left turn. It really does. Oh, they're in these suits. It's hotter than hell in there. You got to train and able to handle the car that way. After a week of going 120 miles or 120 or 140 or 190 miles an hour, you'll pick it up real quick. Your life depends on it. All right? And as far as they're in these suits to protect themselves, fire suits, that's understandable. But to say that it's all hot and sweaty in there. They have air conditioning in there, and they have Gatorade that they could just sip in. They have like a big thing Gatorade hanging in their car, and if they get thirsty to keep hydrated, they drink the Gatorade. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to do. I fucking hate it when people try to defend NASCAR to me because it's the one quote unquote sport I'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Which is why I've never tried to defend NASCAR.
Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, well, I think that does our roundup of the sports, doesn't it? Let's see, we touched on a little on baseball, a little too much on basketball. The NFL. Actually, I want to go back to the NFL for 1 second. I was reading that Santana Moss basically made a comment saying the Redskins need to keep in-house stuff out of the media. And me being a Redskins fan, I really thought that we were done with the whole drama when we got rid of Donovan McNabb and then when we got rid of the Shanahans. But evidently someone made a comment saying earlier this summer, I guess, that RG3 Robert Griffin alienated himself from the team in the locker room. And then, of course, other people were coming out and said, oh, no, that's not true. I know Pierre Garcon basically shot down the media saying it's not true. And then I know Deshaun Jackson. I didn't see the interview, but Deshaun Jackson, who's actually become a leader in the Redskins locker room, which I really didn't see that coming with all the bad things that were said about him coming out of Philadelphia. But no, he's definitely stepped up in the locker room. And I guess on the field now, since Santana Moss is the leader of the team, but he's only played in, I think, 2 or 3 games this year. So it's good to see Deshaun Jackson step up. But I'm just tired of it. I thought we were done with it when we got rid of the Shanahans and we got rid of Donovan McNabb. And it just always seems to be that drama always pops its head up in every football team. But for some stupid-ass reason, it always hits the Redskins. When it hits the Redskins, it gets exploited and blown out so much more than it does when it hits other teams. Do you agree with me or do you disagree?
I didn't hear anything about that.
Well, in general, when stuff
and this whole BS about the Redskin name, I think that
fucking don't get started.
That while we're talking about this, here's my opinion on it. It should not change. It was the Boston Redskins, and then they moved to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
No one got offended about it, except like a little group in the 70s, who then the league pulled Americans, and like 85% were like, 85% were like, they're like, don't change your name. But really, they're like, I don't give a fuck what you do.
Yeah, basically.
It's pretty much. And now it's like, oh, it's down from like, now it's down to like 76% from like 85. Yeah, 40 years ago, there's more people on the planet. You probably pulled more people too. I mean, it's not. And I've even had Native Americans tell me it's not an offensive name.
Exactly.
And then you have like the 1 out of like 20. It's like, oh, it's offensive. It's like, no, it's offensive to you, but not your tribe. So.
And the funny thing is, I was reading an article, and Emmitt Smith made a very astute observation. He goes, everyone's getting mad that the Redskins are. Yeah, that's right. I said it, family, Sportscast fans. I said Redskins. Now we'll keep saying Redskins, even if they change the name, which I don't think is going to happen. And Daniel Snyder has been very adamant about that. They will always be the Washington Redskins. But anyway, Emmitt Smith says, well, what if you just dropped the Reds and called them the Washington Skins? You kept the same logo. You kept the same colors. Would it be that different? And I equated this to a few years ago when Tampa Bay dropped the Devil from Devil Rays. Being in the South, I'm sure that was a big thing. With being in the Bible Belt, I'm sure people down there got pissed off that it was the Devil Rays. So after that, it became the Tampa Rays, and there was no problem at all. Also, Jerry Jones is a big advocate for the Redskins to keep their name. He says they've been the Redskins. To me, they'll always be the Redskins. There's no need to really change it. And the thing is that most Native Americans do not have a problem with it. And I'm glad you pointed that out. because I'm tired of hearing all these politicians, oh, it's got to go, it's got to go. But guess what? The people who supposedly the name is offending is not offending them. So get off your fucking high seat and get the fuck on.
Yeah,
Sorry,
they're old
kind of
white
passionate about
they're
that.
old white guys trying to keep their seats. That's
Yeah,
what it is. And I was gonna say something. I completely forgot what it was. Um,
talking about Redskins and how they,
I know. God, I don't remember what it was. Oh, nobody brought this up when they were winning. It's only when they're losing they start bringing this shit up. You notice that? You
that's
notice
good.
that?
Yeah, that is. Actually, I didn't notice that until you just made that comment. But that is a very good point.
If they're winning, the whole city of Washington, city of Washington, I was gonna say state, but whole city of Washington, they're so proud of the Redskins. When they're losing, oh, we don't even want their name, but let alone the team. That's why we benched you to Landover. No,
Yeah, that's going to change. We're going to come back, and they're saying, oh, well, the only way you can come back is if you drop the Redskins. I guarantee you
no way.
that we will be back and we will keep the Redskins name. They're already talking about tearing down RFK and possibly putting a dome up
I,
in the
I,
place of it.
I was just gonna say that. I was
Oh
just
yeah,
gonna
that's
say
right.
that.
We had this conversation a while ago,
Yep.
me and you.
Yep.
But and there's plenty of room too. I'm not sure if you've ever been to RFK, but
Nope.
there's a huge fucking parking lot, and there's so much stuff that can be torn down behind the stadium. As long as they leave the National Guard Armory alone, it's fair game. It could be another Jerry Dome, then we can call it the Daniel Dome for all I care. But honestly, I want Snyder out, but I know that's never going to happen. All right, well, you have anything else you want to touch on football?
Mm, no, not really.
Hey, what's the Thursday night game this week?
For the NFL,
Yeah.
well, we'll do. I was gonna do college football
Oh, want to go
first.
college?
No,
Let's go college.
we'll do NFL first. That's fine. It's the Bears, not the Bears. Jesus fucking Christ. The Bills at the Dolphins. It's a Thursday night
Oh,
game.
an interesting AFC East matchup here. Well, the Dolphins shit the bed last week for me. I'll go Buffalo.
Miami. I'm gonna do these lines with every game too because those are pretty fun. The line is
Oh yeah.
Miami by 6, and the over under is 42.
Definitely go with under, and they're not going to cover.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be a close game. And then we got
Okay,
the
go ahead.
Vikings at Bears. The Bears are favored by 3.5. I don't know
This this is the
how.
battle of the bowel movements, if you ask me. This
I
game
don't
could
know
be.
how. And the over under is 46.5.
Oh, under that, most definitely.
Easily, easily under. And I don't think the Bears cover
You said they're favored by how many? Three?
3.5. I'm going Vikings anyway. That's why I don't think they'll cover. But
Um, yeah, I don't think. I think I'm going with Vikings too. Bridgewater is starting to come into his own.
um, Texans at Browns. Browns favored by 3.5. Over and under is 41.5.
Browns will win, and it'll be a high scoring game. I'll take the over.
Isn't Ryan Mallett starting?
Ryan Mallett starting, but you know what? Ben Tate's going against his old team, and he's going to blow up.
I hate you with the revenge games because Ahmad Bradshaw did nothing against the Giants.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Nothing. And I said I don't believe in revenge games. It doesn't mean anything. I think the Browns are going to win. I think it will be under, and I think the Browns will actually cover. So what? This is weird. Seahawks at Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by 1, and the over under is 42.5.
Chiefs are favored by one.
By 1.
How can you cover a 1 point favor? I'd say Chiefs win by 7.
Mm,
And I'll go under.
it's going to be under because both have good defenses and the Chiefs don't score many points. I'll take the Chiefs, and I'll take the under. Yep.
You're not going to take the cover, though, are you?
Oh, no. God,
If
no.
so, we are not going to Vegas together.
No way. Falcons at Panthers. Carolina's favored by 1.5, and the over/under is 46.5.
See, this weekend it's going to be really cold all over the country, so I'm not really going with high scores anywhere. Um, Atlanta and Carolina outdoors. I'll give it to Carolina.
I'm gonna
Sorry,
go.
NFC South is horrible right now.
Oh, it is. I'm gonna go Falcons. And I Carolina's offense has been god awful
Yeah, thanks Cam Newton for fucking me over this week.
the past. Like I have Calvin Benjamin, and the last 2 weeks I had to start him, and he's done nothing. Well, he gave me like 19 points in garbage time this week against you, but it was just
Talking about much there because I ain't doing shit this year.
yeah. But really, it was garbage time. I think like I looked at it in the third quarter. I already beat you. I was already up and I already beat you. But I was just looking at it. And I think like starting like the end of the third quarter, he only gave me like 4 points. And then all of a sudden I looked the next morning and he gave me like 19. I'm like, oh, that's garbage time. He's done nothing. Newton's done nothing. I'll take the under the 45.5 and I'll take Atlanta.
All right. Next I got Cincinnati and New Orleans.
Saints are
I
at
don't know.
home.
Mm-hmm.
Saints are favored by 7.5, and the over/under is 51.
Whoa. I'll go. Oh.
It's in a dome.
Yeah, I know.
Dol-
That's what I was thinking.
And Dolan has been playing like shit, but for some reason, I don't know. I'll take the over the 51 points, and I don't think New Orleans covers, but I think they win.
I'll take over and I'll take Cincinnati. I don't know. AJ Green's gotta break out of his funk. I mean, after he's back now, this is what his second or third game back. He should have a big game.
Should.
Oh shit.
Now the game that you and me will be watching.
Yeah.
The Bucks at the Redskins.
Oh, it's home game for us. I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Don't mean shit. What's the
Washington is favored by 7, and the over/under is 45.5.
You know what? I'm going to go over, and I'm going to take and Washington will cover.
You're expecting a beatdown, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, we're coming off a bye. I'm being hopeful here.
Honestly, Josh McCown didn't play that bad against Atlanta.
What was his stats? I didn't really see.
He had over 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. I have to admit though, there was a little. I'm not saying that they would have won. They lost by 10, but they were down, and Atlanta did intercept the ball in the end zone, but it looked like it hit the turf, so the refs called it incomplete. And it was under 2 minutes. They hike the ball they throw the ball, and Vincent Jackson catches it, and then you hear whistles blowing, and it's a touchdown, and then the refs are like, we're reviewing the previous play. It's like, how can you? The snap was already called.
But it depends on when the referee got buzzed because it has to come from upstairs.
It doesn't matter. Whenever the snap, they can. I go by whistle. As fans, we go by whistles, not by when the ref buzzes, because we don't know that. So he's already threw the ball. Vincent Jackson's already up with it, catching it, and then you blow a whistle. I'm not saying that the Bucks would recover the onside kick and score a touchdown or kick a field goal for overtime, but the refs again took the game out of the players' hands again. And that final
we had that conversation last week.
And the final drive, there was 3 overturned calls that were clear. Like, Vincent Jackson catches a pass on the sideline. He's like 3 yards.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw
He's like
that.
3 yards from the sideline. The refs call it incomplete. It's like, what? How do you call that incomplete?
Yeah, there was something on Facebook today saying how that ref had a really bad day.
Yeah, they were saying during the game they were the least they threw the least flags in the league at 13 a game. They threw over like 30 that game, and about 80% of them were bullshit.
Yeah.
Like I said, we lost the game. I'm like, we lost the game, but actually McCollum played really fucking well. Rainey was okay. He could have done better. Mike Evans was a beast, but I don't know. I'll take the Redskins. I'll take the under, and the Redskins don't cover. I think it's going to be low scoring.
You think it's gonna be a close game?
Yeah, the Bucks have lost 5 games by 5 points or less this season.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I
I see
mean,
where you're going with that.
they've been and even they lost by 10 against Atlanta, but even that should have been a closer game than it was.
Yeah.
So then the score that game was closer than the score indicates. So I mean, there's besides the 2 blowouts, they're hanging in with teams. They're just getting unlucky. I think it'll be a close game, um, but I still think the Redskins win under and they don't cover.
So
Ugh.
you think Robert Griffin III is going to make it through the season, or you think he's going to get hurt again?
I think he'll get hurt again, but that's just
You think he gets hurt this week against Tampa Bay?
it's a possibility. I mean, Tampa
I think
it,
it's going to happen.
because they like hitting. They
Oh
like
yeah,
hitting.
do they like blitzing too?
So I mean, it's gonna be tough. Broncos at Rams. Broncos favored by 10, and the over under is 51.5.
I'm going to take the over, and I'm also going to say the Browns are going to cover. And that's because the Browns will put up 49 points on their own against St. Louis.
Broncos, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I agree. I agree. Manning's gonna throw at least 4 more, at least 4 more. They'll score. They'll score it. I'll yep take the over and I'll take the spread. 49ers at Giants. San Francisco by 4.5. The over under is 44.5.
Both these teams are horrible this year, if you ask me. And who would ever thought that the San Francisco would be this bad? Um, I'm gonna take San Francisco though over the Giants. Uh, and I'll take under.
I'm gonna take the Giants. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm gonna take the Giants and I will take the 44. They each score what's that? 22 points. I'll take the over.
All right.
I'll take the over on that. Raiders at Chargers. Chargers by 10.5. The over under is 45.
Chargers will cover. I think they actually won by 17. And I'll take the under.
Oh, I'm taking the over. Rivers had a terrible game against Miami, and they're coming off a bye. Rivers is gonna fucking chuck it. He is gonna fucking throw it.
Brandon's favorite terms: fuck it and chuck it.
Fuck it and chuck
Please.
it. They will cover and they will go over. It's not even going to be a game. First half would be like 35-7. So that's what I think.
All right.
Eagles at Packers. This is funny. Packers are favored by 6.5, and the over under is 55.5.
Whoa. Ah. As much as this pains me to do, I think Mark Sanchez really works well in the Philadelphia offense. He's not a scrambling quarterback, but and then again he could turn into Mark Sanchez this week and suck ass. But I'm going to take Philadelphia. I really think Philadelphia's got something started here. I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm really thinking that Philadelphia and Dallas are going to be the two that go from the NFC East. And what was the over under?
55.5.
Under. It's in the Green Bay.
the Packers are going to destroy them. There's no way Sanchez is keeping up with Aaron Rodgers. No way. Sanchez had one good game against a very overrated defense. Mention that. The best defense last year is one of the worst this year in Carolina.
Exactly.
Overrated. He had the best game of his career against a bad defense. Packers don't have a bad defense. Sanchez is going to be like he was in New York. He's going to dink and dunk. He's going to have to. They may get a couple touchdowns out of it, but he's not going to play like that. I'm taking Green Bay to cover and the over. I think Green Bay is going to pound them. Just destroy them. This next game may be the best game. Lions at Cardinals.
I'm going to hold off on that because I don't think that's the best game. I think the best game is actually the next one, but it's going to be a good game.
Arizona by 1.5. Over-under is 42. I'm definitely taking the under.
I'm taking the under too, but Arizona's going to cover.
I think Arizona's going to win, even with Drew Stanton at quarterback. I think Arizona's the best defense in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They, even with, and I had this debate with a buddy of mine, and I said, he's like, oh, with Palmer gone, their chances to even go into a Super Bowl they're none. I'm like, I disagree 100%. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I mean, you have a decent run game and a great defense. It doesn't matter who your quarterback is. And he goes, oh, it matters, it matters. I'm like, look at Trent Dilfer with the Ravens. Look at Brad Johnson with the Bucks. I mean, all you need is a guy who doesn't turn the ball over as a quarterback.
And plus, you do still have a couple of receivers that can catch in Michael Floyd and Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald being one of the best receivers in the league.
Yeah. So I like this Cardinals team. I think they'll at least go to the NFC Championship game, even with Drew Stanton as their quarterback. That's just me.
All right.
I take the under and 1.5. So they win by 2. They won't cover. I don't think Arizona will cover.
Wow.
I think it'll be like 20-19. Now, if you think this will be the best game, Patriots at Colts.
I do. Patriots have had a resurgence, and the Colts with Reggie Wayne and T.Y. Hilton and Andrew Luck, all three clicking. I mean, yeah, sorry, on my Bradshaw did not have a good game against the Giants, but T.Y. Hilton had a decent one. It's going to be, what's the over under here? I mean, what's the cover on it?
Indy's favored by 2.5, and the over under is 58.5.
Wow. So no one's playing defense this game, I guess. I think New England's going to win, and I'm taking the over.
I think the Colts are going to win, and I'm taking the under. I don't know why I'm taking the under. just
I don't either.
I don't. I don't know why I am. I just am. Like, it's probably going to be a shootout, but for some reason I'm taking the under on this. I think it's going to be like a 27-20 game, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take the under. And then we have this monstrous Monday night game. Steelers at Titans. Pittsburgh's favored by 6.5. The over-under is 46.5.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say Tennessee's going to win.
Interesting.
It's just, they were a suspect team all year long, and they're going to get back to that suspect team. And I think it's going to happen against a team that no one expects it to happen against. Tennessee. It's in Tennessee. Pretty loud stadium. But I don't see Pittsburgh having a good game. And what's the over-under? 42, you said?
46.5.
I'll take under.
I'll take the under, but I think Pittsburgh wins and they cover.
All right. Oh, that does this for week 11 we're in.
Yep. Now let's
The
talk
football season.
about the your favorite is college football, which we're in week 12 of that.
Yeah. I love it when college football comes around and then the next week after, boom, it's regular season for football. So I got to
Oh,
bring it up.
this is going to be good. Number 1, Mississippi State at number 5, Alabama.
Um, shoot. Um,
Alabama is actually favored by 8, and the over/under is 52.
I'm over under 52. Definitely going over. And it's in Alabama.
Yep.
Oh wow. Goodbye, number 1. I can't say it's an upset special, but I have Alabama winning.
I think it'll be under, actually. I don't think Alabama covers, but I will take Alabama also.
Bye bye, number 1 Mississippi State. It's been a nice run, but goodbye.
And then you'll probably have this team, number 3, Florida State at Miami.
Well, what did I say 2 weeks ago?
You did. Florida State's favored by 2.5, and the over/under is 61.5.
Jesus Christ. I'm going to take the under, but I'm taking Miami. This is where they get their first loss.
Miami's 6-3, huh?
Yeah, but it's in Miami, and
again, I don't in college football. I don't really.
but this is actually a rivalry game between these two teams.
It is, but that's why I don't think it really matters, especially in this game where it's played. I think Miami's going to play up to Florida State. I am going to agree with you. I think I was going to pick Florida State, but I think Miami's gonna take it. Even though we've been picking against Florida State almost every week here. But like I said, it doesn't really matter because I think they're going to get stripped of their wins anyway.
It doesn't matter because they were going to make the national championship anyways.
And 61.5, I'll take the under as well.
All right.
TCU, number 4, TCU at Kansas. TCU is favored by 28.5, and the over/under is 57.5.
I'm going to say TCU. They cover, and it's over.
Same.
They're going to blow them away.
Oh yeah, it's going to be awful. Number 6, Arizona State at Oregon State. Arizona State's favored by 9, and the over/under is 61.5.
God damn, it's a late starting time, Eastern Standard Time. Shit.
Yes, it is. 11 o'clock.
Let's see. Arizona State, they cover, and I'm going to go under.
Same. I'll get Minnesota be in the top 25. Number 8, Ohio State at number 25, Minnesota. Ohio State's favored by 12 with the over/under of 56.
Ohio State will win. They will not cover. I'd say they win by 6, and I'll go with under.
Yeah. Again, I agree with you. These are kind of easy. I think that it'll be under. I think Minnesota will give them fits. And I think Ohio State will win. Oh, the game you'll be watching.
Well, I take it off work. Yeah, I got 11-hour shift, but yeah.
Number 9, Auburn, and number 15, Georgia. Georgia's favored.
Back.
Georgia's favored by 2.5. Over/under is 68.5.
It's going to be under, and Georgia will cover. They'll win by a field goal.
All right. I think it'll be under 2. I don't think Georgia will cover because I think Auburn's going to win.
All right, fair enough.
just because.
It's just going to be great to see Gurley back and have him so pissed off. He's going to be stupid. I will make a prediction. Him and Nick Chubb will both run for 100 and score at least one touchdown apiece.
That's high praise.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but it's possible. Number 12, Michigan State at Maryland. Michigan State is favored by 12, and the over-under is 59.5.
I'm gonna go on a limb here, and I'm gonna say this is Maryland's coming out party. I'm saying this is probably gonna be one of their biggest upsets in history. They will beat Michigan State. It's gonna be a close one. It won't be covered. Well, of course. Um, I'll take the under.
Michigan State is pissed that they played so poorly against Ohio State. They're going to crush Maryland. They cover, but I'm taking the under also. They cover, but I'm taking the under.
All right.
Washington at number 14, Arizona. Arizona's favored by 9 with the over-under of 60.
Arizona covers, and I'll take the over.
Yep.
I mean, they're Washington's 2-4 in the Pac-12. It's not that good.
No, Pac-12's they're kind of overrated and underrated at the same time, which is weird.
Yeah, they got 3 ranked teams in it, and then a bunch of teams unranked, right?
Yeah. Number 16, Nebraska, who's 8-1. Wow, I did not even know that. At number 20, Wisconsin, who was 7-2. When did the Big Ten sneak up on this year?
Yeah, I know, right? It's SEC and Big Ten running the game now.
Wisconsin's favored by 6.5, and the over/under is 57.
Wisconsin wins by a touchdown, and I'll take the over.
I will take the under, and Nebraska wins.
All right.
Number 17, LSU at Arkansas. What? Are you looking at the same line I am?
If you're on ESPN, I got Arkansas favored by 1.5.
1.5. Yeah. That can't be right. No
yeah,
way.
They're 4-5 and 0-3, 0-5 in the SEC. How is that?
How is Arkansas favored by 1.5?
And I'm sorry, Arkansas does not have that much of a home field advantage. It's not like they're playing in Death Valley.
47.5. LSU's gonna win, and I'm taking the under.
LSU's going to win. I'm taking the over.
Huh.
I think LSU's going to put up 30 something on their own.
I don't know if they have the offense this year to do that, but they might. Northwestern at number 18, Notre Dame. Notre Dame's favored by 18, and the over/under is 50.5.
And it's in South Bend. I'm going Notre Dame covers and over.
Yep, same. Number 19, Clemson at number 22, Georgia Tech. Clemson is favored by 3 with the over/under of 60.
Clemson wins, and I'm going to take the under. And they'll cover.
Yep. Yeah. I agree. No, I'll take the over, though. I'll take the over.
Really?
60
right.
points, 30 points each. Yeah, I can see that happening. Virginia Tech at number 21, Duke. And you know how I am with this Duke team. I'm really high on them. 4.5. Duke is favored, and the over/under is 48.
Well, Cinderella still has her slipper. Now I'm going to take Duke. They're going to cover. And yeah, I'll take over.
Duke, cover, under.
Wow, Western Virginia Tech's 1-4 in the ACC this year. Whew.
Yep. Number 23, Utah. That play was just ridiculous. At Stanford.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, it was.
Stanford is favored by 7.5 over Utah.
Yeah, I was gonna actually take Stanford, and I was gonna have them cover.
No way they're covering.
They'll win by 10.
No, they won't.
All right.
Because Utah's winning, and I'll take the over. Texas A&M's back in the ranks. Missouri, oh, this is your game.
This this,
Missouri at
this is
number
going this is
24.
going to tell this is going to tell Georgia's fate right here.
Missouri at number 24. Texas A&M. I already know who you're picking. So go ahead.
Oh, they're favored too. What the hell? I'm confused.
A&M is favored by 4. Over under of 58 and a half.
Oh, let's see. Oh, because we lost 2 conference games. That's why. I was like, how is because Missouri's 7-2, but we also lost to South Carolina and Florida, so we have 2 conference losses.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going with Texas A&M.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they'll cover. I don't see it being over though.
Just be a dick. I'm going Missouri.
That
Just
makes
be,
sense.
just be a dick, and I think they will go over.
Honestly, I almost went with Missouri, and I was going to have Tennessee upsetting them next week, but I don't know, man. Texas A&M, that they've been playing really good lately.
I'm just gonna go Missouri just to be a dick.
Yeah.
Just to
Well,
be an
that
to
and
be an
also it's
arsehole.
SEC East, and right now the West owns East in every way possible. Like right now, it says they're 3-3 in the SEC. I'm sure most of those have been SEC West games. They would be
Well,
6.
I think didn't they lose to Alabama, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State?
Yeah, those are
So
3
their 3 losses are like top
SEC
10 losses.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I'm still gonna go Missouri. Ow, 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 ow! Fuck, that hurt. But yeah, I'm gonna go Missouri.
All right. I guess that wipes out this week's picks.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
Do you have any fantasy sit 'em or start 'em questions? I don't have my team up in front of me, so.
Let me look. I really don't because I got a bunch of players on buys, so I'm not really. Gonna start Manning. Gonna start Sanders. Gonna start Nelson. Gonna start Hilton. Gonna start Ingram. Have to start Bradshaw because Murray's on a bye. Gonna start Gates. Gonna start the kicker from Arizona. The only thing I really have is Seattle at Kansas defense. Seattle, Kansas City, or Detroit at Arizona.
Oh,
I mean, well,
that's
I'm thinking of putting Detroit in because I know they got their backup quarterback in, but I don't think I'll go. I don't think I'll be able to go wrong either game because Kansas City doesn't put up much points anyway.
oh shit! I got a bunch of people on by too. Let's see. I'm going Torrey Smith. The Ravens are on by. Couldn't put Andre Johnson in. Blake Bortles, Andrew Luck.
Wow, you're fucking sucking.
Chris Ivory and.
Oh, you're in the other league. I'm like, okay. I'm like, wait, you don't have Andrew Luck.
Oh yeah, no. I'm in my ESPN league. Yeah, I don't have any really debates this week. Like Garrett Blunt in Tennessee, or oh no, because other than that, I have Maurice Jones-Drew. Never mind.
You gotta start Blunt.
Yeah. Heath Miller or Julius Thomas.
Julius Thomas. Wait,
Yeah.
wait. What's he done this year? What's he done this year though? He doesn't really. He's actually Manning's like 4th or 5th option, because you got like Denarius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders. He's probably like his 3rd option. So I'd
He's
start
projected
him.
11. He's projected 11 points, where Miller's projected 4.
Then you gotta start. Then you gotta start Thomas. Plus they're playing the Rams, so
Yeah, and last week he got me 18 points, and Miller would have got me 2 points last week. Yeah.
start Thomas.
Yep.
Anything with Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers, you start them. It's just Jordy Nelson's only given me one bad game this year. And it was against the Saints because they were so down. I mean, he was getting double covered the whole fucking game. And then Emmanuel Sanders, even though he didn't score touchdowns earlier in the year, he's been giving me 12, 13 points a game because he's always been getting over like 10 receptions and 100 yards. So, I mean,
Okay, I do have one. I've got Frank Gore against the Giants, Steven Jackson against Carolina, or I could do Alfred Morris. Sit one of those and do Alfred Morris against Tampa Bay and Arian Foster against Cleveland.
oh, the best. Arian Foster. I mean, that's.
Would I take out Frank Gore against New York or Steven Jackson against Carolina?
I might say take out both and start Alfred Morris against Tampa, too.
That's what I was thinking. Exactly
Because
what I was
Tampa's horrible. Their
on
defense. But the funny thing is that they're really not, though. They're like middle of the pack. Everyone thinks like their defense is bad, but it's really not. I mean, we have a decent defense. We've had 2 games that we were blown out, and the rest of the time we lost by like a touchdown or less. Except against Atlanta, again we lost by 10, but again that never should have been that. It never should have been that far apart. So I mean,
Alex Smith versus Cam Newton.
Cam Newton sucked. Who's Newton play again?
Newton plays Atlanta, and Smith plays Seattle.
Ugh, that's tough.
That goes on by.
That's tough. Because I don't know, Seattle's defense has been pretty susceptible this year. They're not like as down as it was last year. And who's the other one? And Cam Newton's just been horrible. So
Yeah, and then I have Donnie Avery, but he's just coming off an injury, so I don't really want to throw him in. But then again, I don't want to really have Kenny Britt going against Denver. Hell no, that's nuts. Santonio Holmes or Donnie Avery?
who's Donnie Avery play for? I don't think I've ever.
Kansas City,
And Holmes plays for.
Chicago.
Holmes got released.
Oh, he did?
Yep.
Nope. Wouldn't answer that question. Still has his with Chicago.
He got released. They released him, I think, yesterday.
Oh wow. Okay, well answers that question, and I'm gonna go with Alex Smith.
Yeah, whatever. Really, I was listening to a fantasy podcast, and they're saying that besides Newton's game against Cincinnati, he really hasn't been putting up great numbers. And I saw that coming when he was drafted in college. I'm like, he's not going to be good in the NFL.
Oh yeah, I knew that too. I mean,
it was like, oh, he was really good. He's put up really good numbers. I'm like, so I mean,
they're eventually going to find out the option, which was what his thing was.
Same with RG3 when he came out. I'm like, his first year he's gonna be good, and then the second year he's either gonna get hurt or they're gonna figure him out, or both. And that's exactly what happened. He got hurt and they figured him out. So
Yep.
I mean, that's why I like pocket passers. Breaking: Clayton Kershaw wins Cy Young Award. Not surprised.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. Who's surprised by that?
Third time in 4 years.
Yep. All right, my last starter sit-em. I got Chiefs defense against Seattle or Lions defense against Arizona.
Lions D.
That's what I was thinking.
Because I got the Lions D also, and I just switched them. I just switched it over to Arizona.
Okay. Well, I'm good on. My other one's on my phone, so I really can't access that right now. But it doesn't matter. I'm stuck in our league anyway, so I'm only doing well in one league, and by well I mean I'm like, let's see, what am I? I'm 4 and 5.
I'm 8-2, and
4 and 5, and I'm in 7th place in one of my leagues. It's the best I'm doing right now.
8-2, and one of those losses was because of you telling me to start Bradshaw instead of Ingram. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, even though Ingram's gonna have a monster game. Oh, revenge game. It's like, fine, I'll start fucking Bradshaw, even though I know I should have started Ingram, and then bam, it's like, you motherfuckers.
And I wasn't playing you that week. Damn it.
And the other one, fucking, I thought I had it in the bag because I had like T.Y. Hilton playing, and he had a wide receiver on bye, but he snuck in freaking Reggie Wayne like as on a Monday night game. He snuck him in there. I'm like, I thought you can't add to the 4 o'clock games. You can't change your lineup even if it's a Monday night game. That's how it was last year. Your lineup set once the 4 o'clock game starts, even for Monday night games. But it's the first time I've used Yahoo, so I don't.
Goddamn, I got no one to play tonight in hockey but one player.
All right.
Though. Yeah.
We all set? Anything else?
Nope. That late breaking news by you about Clayton Kershaw. No, you don't think Baumgartner should have won?
No, it is based on regular season.
Gotcha.
Kershaw was a beast in the regular season, but Baumgartner was a beast. Excuse me, Jesus, Baumgartner was a beast in the postseason. So, yawned it here. So yeah, but if it based on like an entire season, I think I still would have voted for Kershaw. But
yep. All right. Well, I guess till next time.
Yep. For Matt Gardner.
Chip Willett.
All right.
Peace.
See ya.